Welcome to the virtual college exploration for all West Virginia students, sponsored by the West Virginian Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admission Officers and StriveScan. Thank you for joining us. A few housekeeping items before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many sessions happening, so be sure to check out the full schedule at WVACRAO.org. This presentation is also being recorded and will be available within about a week at that same website, WVACRAO.org. At this time, I would like to go ahead and turn it over to our presenters.
All right, thank you everyone for joining us today to learn a little bit more about agriculture, a growing field in our country. And we're gonna talk a little bit about our respective agriculture programs at each of our colleges. I'm gonna go ahead and get us kicked off by introducing all of our panelists that we have today. So starting off, my name is Cassie Weiss and I'm an admissions counselor at WVU Potomac State College. I am joined by my colleague, Corey Armstrong, who is our Director of Farm Operations and SAGE at Potomac State. From Blue Ridge today, I have Tiffany Hine, who is the Agribusiness Program Manager at Blue Ridge Community and Technical College. From Southern West Virginia Community and Technical College, I have Chad Elkins, who works as an Agriculture Instructional Specialist, and Shelby Porter, who's a Recruitment and Outreach Specialist. And from Eastern Kentucky University, we have Darlene Stalker, who's an outreach coordinator, and Madison Miller, who's an admissions counselor. As I mentioned, we will be telling you all about the agriculture programs at our colleges, but first let's talk a little bit more about the agriculture industry in the United States as well as the state of West Virginia. So first off, what is agriculture? Well, it's defined as the science of cultivating plants, animals, and other life forms for food, fiber, and fuel. So the agriculture industry is one of the largest industries in the world, and it consists of jobs in the different sectors of production, processing, distribution, marketing, management, and sales. The chart on the right-hand side of the screen shows how many jobs and in what sector they're in for agriculture in the United States. So in the United States, the agriculture industry accounts for 22 million jobs, which is about 11% of our total job market. So let's talk a little bit about what agriculture is like in the state of West Virginia. So the top 5 products that West Virginia produces are young chickens or broilers, cattle and calves, hay, dairy products, and turkeys. Other major crops that are produced in our state include apples, corn for grain, soybeans, peaches, wheat, and tobacco. We do have several farms in the state of West Virginia. We have over 23,000 with a total of 3.7 million acres of farmland. Average farms are about 157 acres. We do have about 95% of our farms are family owned, which is the highest percentage in the United States. We are also the 3rd most forested state in the nation with a total forested area of 12 million acres. So to talk a little bit more about my school, so to talk about WVU Potomac State College, as our name suggests, we are WVU. So on our campus, you get the best of both worlds. So you get a big time university curriculum, just like you would at West Virginia University in Morgantown or on our technical campus in Beckley, but you're going to get that delivered on a really small campus. We are located in Kaiser, West Virginia, which is in the eastern panhandle of Mineral County, in a rural town of about 5,000 total people. We do offer small but challenging classes with dedicated professors. We have a 20-to-1 student to faculty ratio. We are considered one of the most affordable four-year institutions in the country. We do have a total of enrollment of about 1,300 students, with our incoming freshman classes ranging usually somewhere between 450 to 475 students. We have 11 championship athletic teams that compete on the junior college level in the NJCAA. We do have a vibrant residential campus. We have 5 available residence halls on our campus, and we are the only junior college in the state that offers on-campus housing. Last year, we distributed over $600,000 in scholarships. It is free to apply to our school, and no test scores are required in order to attend Potomac State College. So talk a little bit about agriculture at our school. We do offer a variety of majors, and 7 of those majors are qualified for the West Virginia Invest Grant Program. So what that means is that you can earn an associate's degree from WVU without paying any tuition. So you're going to save about $10,000. You can choose from 7 different majors in the ag field for that. And you can find more information about the West Virginia Invest Grant at go.wvu.edu/PSC-Invest. I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to my colleague, Corey, to tell you a little bit more about our resources and about the SAGE program.
Cool. Thank you, Cassie. Actually, you can jump back real quick. I'll just want to highlight about all of our programs there. Most of our programs are 2-year programs with the idea that there's a pathway to Morgantown if you want to go onto the main campus. All but the SAGE program, which is what we'll talk about briefly today, where we have 2-year and 4-year programs. So exciting opportunity if you don't want to go to the bigger school, Morgantown. We have a lot of students that stay here will get their bachelor's right here in Kaiser. So very exciting for that. You can go to the next one. All right, so talking briefly about the resources that we have, we are very lucky because we do have 3 farms. And as you can see, we do refer to them as our classroom because we do have a lot of opportunities. The Gustafson Farm, or what we call the Upper Farm, that's basically a 5-minute walk from main campus. So we have a lot of student interaction there. It's where we have a lot of our diverse crops, and I'll talk to you more about that here in a minute. The Malone Farm is more of our conventional farm where we have about 200 to 300 head of cattle depending on the time of year. So students that want to learn more about crops, rotational grazing, that kind of thing, can learn that on the Malone Farm. The Dermer Farm, we have some student housing in an old farmhouse. We make hay on that farm. We have some plans in the future to develop more crops on there as well. So we have a lot of opportunities. You can go to the next one. So talking more about SAGE, we are happy to run it as a, we talk about running ag as a business, right? Agriculture is a business, farming is a business. So it's important for us to teach students that, that's how it is. And being able to, show students our profit and loss margins, show what enterprises are doing well, which ones are we're highlighting are kind of part of our program. We're always teaching the best management practices. We do a lot of conventional ag. We talk about specialty crops as well, and a lot of the niche products. What we see statewide and nationally is that a lot of farmers, especially beginning farmers, new farmers, are developing, niche products, right? So value-adding crops, that kind of thing. So we see that throughout the state, and we're trying to stay ahead of that curve so we can teach our students. So, being practical, obviously very important for us, especially for the new and beginner farmer, and also being innovative. Our program is hands-on, so we're happy to have that in our program. And, understanding the market. So we have a lot of students that are trying to figure out if they come from a rural farm, how they address, becoming profitable, right? So if you have a small population, farming is tough as it is. So we have some students that have business models when they get out that they want to drive 2 hours to a booming market where they can sell their products for 3 times what they could get locally. We have a lot of farmers statewide that do that. We have some farmers that value add, sell off the farm, non-perishable items being shipped. So all those different things, using technology as a way to ship things as well. So, we build entrepreneurs. We're talking about growing and producing products and that kind of thing. We go next one. I will point out too that most of our ag faculty and staff are business owners, which I think is very important because we understand what it's like to be in the ag climate, and we're very upfront with that with our students about that, teaching them that. So again, it's teaching about production. So we have greenhouses, high tunnels, we have all of the conventional stuff, a lot of the different enterprises that we have. We're doing everything from lavender production. Again, we have a commercial kitchen which we can grow and produce, and we can package and process and sell right off the farm, which is a huge asset for any farmer, which we really are, benefits us a lot. We do all the bedding plants, all the traditional greenhouse crops. We do have a farm store in development, and we're selling more right off the farm. We do maple syrup where we tap 500 trees. We have honey in production. We have a mobile pizza oven on the way that we're going to be value-adding crops and products to. And of course, we have some livestock, cattle, goats, pigs as well. So we have a lot of different things going on. Trying to stay ahead of the curve in agriculture has been a challenge for a lot of producers. And again, trying to understand that market. So that is a focus of ours. And I also want to highlight that we're not just teaching students how to become full-time producers. We have a lot of students that are doing internships and getting jobs at organizations like USDA, Department of Ag, Farm Credit. We're trying to get our students well-rounded enough that they understand what production is from a growing standpoint, but also being able to get into a professional position, administration, finance, that kind of thing. So we like to think that we're having a well-rounded education, and so far our graduates are proving that. So we're happy about that. Again, talking some about the conventional and sort of the progressive or niche type products, we do have feeding programs with cattle, where I mentioned before, we have upwards of 200 to 300 head of cattle. We grow out heifers and steers different times of the year. We have our labs that are based around poultry and sheep. The cool thing too that we can offer is that, if we have 200 head of cattle, for example, on the Malone farm that all need vaccinated, let's say for whatever reason, we have 10 students in a lab. Each one of those students is going to vaccinate, 20 cows, let's say. So we have a lot of students that, it's about half and half, that have come off the farm and half don't, where, sticking a steer or a heifer with a needle to vaccinate is kind of a scary thing, where after 20, they feel a lot more comfortable. So we do offer that ratio where our classes are kind of a 15 to 1 or 20 students to 1. So it's very comfortable. But when it comes to working animals, it's, a lot better hands-on experience. So that's kind of a cool thing that we can provide. And then quickly mentioning about what we're doing with equine. So we do have a large equine arena. A lot of folks know us for being able to have events and show different horses and that kind of thing. Our equine program is now under our SAGE program. So students, instead of learning how to just show animals and that kind of thing, we have a lot of students that are taking advantage of being able to learn how to do stable management, therapy, wellness. We have a lot of different niche things, photography. We have students that are earning money in different ways with horses. Which is a very cool sort of change that we're doing, where we're focusing on the entrepreneurship thing. So that's become a very new thing. Training has become very popular with us as well. So, so those are kind of a highlight of the SAGE program. There's a lot trying to cram in there, but with 2-year and 4-year programs, in the 800 acres, we offer a heck of a lot of opportunity. So I'll be happy to answer any questions later on as we move through. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Corey. And then, of course, the last thing I want to talk a little bit about is our opportunity to connect with you. So we do have a variety of options. So you can do Tour Guide Live, which are large tours. We have individual visits. We have Discover Days, which is like our open house. You can find any of our counselors' contact information at the go.wvu.edu/PSC counselor. You can always email us or call us. And of course, we always want to push you to apply. It is free to apply. So you can find that application at go.wvu.edu/PSC apply. No test scores required. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and hand off to Blue Ridge.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I am Tiffany Hine, and I am the program manager and associate professor here at Blue Ridge Community and Technical College over in Martinsburg. We are over in Berkeley County in the Eastern Panhandle. Miss Cassie? Lots of information here, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to talk all about that. I just want to talk a little bit about our program. Our program has been geared to offer students seeking challenging and exciting information about agriculture and agribusiness. We are such a hands-on, practical program. It is true, you're going to have to take those basic classes that you're going to have just to get through college anywhere. But I will tell you this, we have been very fortunate that the other departments within Blue Ridge are very willing to work with our ag students and make it more ag-related. For example, in biology, because you would take 2 courses of biology with us with a lab, the instructor is now utilizing the greenhouse that we have on campus. And last semester, well, nope, last spring, let me get back, get my times mixed up. They were actually, planting corn in the greenhouse. Now, not many people plant corn in a greenhouse, but let me tell you, my bio students did it. It's just an example of the different things that you're going to get to do if you come over to Blue Ridge. You're going to be taking classes in the business through the business department, and you're going to be taking classes such as marketing and management and leadership, customer service. The thing is, all of these classes are going to have that ag twist to it. So it's not going to be just basic business courses. These business courses are going to be taught from an agriculture and agribusiness perspective, because that's what my students are most interested in. We see that the majority of our students come to us are predominantly from a farming background. So we're not here to teach you how to become a farmer so much. We're teaching you how to run your farm as a business. Currently, you can do your certificate, which is a 30-hour program with us, or you can do your associate, which is a 60-hour program. Right now, both of these programs can be done totally online. So you're probably thinking, well, how am I going to do ag online? Well, guess what? We can, because you are still going to be involved in farm visits and different visits out with the local community. If you're in our 30-hour CERT program, you're going to be taking, of course, English, math, and a computer class, and then 21 hours of core electives from the ag approved elective courses. If you're in our 60-hour program, you're going to again add, 2 semesters of chemistry and 2 semesters of biology, psych or soc. And now you're going to get to take 32 hours of electives from our approved elective courses. Now, what are some of those elective courses? Cassie, I think they're on the next screen. Yep, here's just a few of those. Some of them includes animal science, cattle production, equine, farm to table, microgreens. You guys can read, so I'm not going to read all of those to you. But what I am going to say is that most of our students decide, well, I'm more interested on the plant science side, so they take most of their electives in that, or they're more on the animal science side, and you get to do that. All of the instructors come to you either with an education background or they are coming with their practical experience background. For example, the gentleman who teaches our cattle production class, guess what? He's got plenty of cows in his fields, and he will not only be able to teach the class, but then you're going to be out there working with those animals as well. The young lady that teaches our equine science class, she has Percherons. If you don't know what a Percheron is, a little bit of trivia for you, they are one of the closest cousins to the Clydesdales. These are big boys. Her biggest one, whose name is Nitro, is a little over 16 hands tall. So for your horse people, that's a big boy, but he's a gentle giant, and you're going to get to do all kinds of great things with him. We have partnerships with local farms, so you're going to get to be involved in dairy, beef, swine, goat, sheep, poultry, and equine. So you're going to get to be on all types of farms. We've also visited a water buffalo farm and bison farms as well. So you're going to get to have all of those wonderful experiences. We do have a 20 by 72 greenhouse on campus that you're going to get to do all the work in. We do planting. All of the food that we do produce goes right into our culinary department. So you're going to get to plant it, harvest it, process it possibly, and then give it right over to culinary. So guess what? We can do the best thing, which is eat it. We have hydroponics units, which you're going to get to learn a lot about hydroponics, because that is something that is up and coming, especially for farmers who really don't have a lot of space. Hydroponics may be the answer for them. You're going to get to possibly do an internship if you would so choose. It's not a requirement, but we do encourage all of our students to participate in an internship program of their choice. For example, I've had students who, well, the most recent one is a student who's going to be working with the United States Geological Service here in Jefferson County, and he's going to be working with their fish. And he has a desire to someday work through the West Virginia Department of Agriculture, working with their trout programs. And so he's going to be actually working with the trout program over at USGS as part of his internship. So we'll do our best to get you where you want to be and working with the people that you want to work with. We also do special topics classes. I find that there are so many ideas in agriculture that people are interested in that I just couldn't teach or have someone teach all of those classes. For example, I had a student who thought he wanted to be a bison farmer. Well, let's find out if you even like bison. So he spent a semester studying bison. He had a whole research project that went in with this as well. Then he spent several weeks on a bison farm, as well as attending the bison conference up in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Who knew they had one, but we found him one. After all of that, and after the end of that semester, he came to me and he said, Miss Tiffany, I've decided one thing. I don't want to work with bison. And I was so happy that he decided that, because why get into it as a career if you find out that's not really your thing? Well, he went on to graduate, and guess what? He and one of the other graduates, they are now raising broiler chickens. I've already been able to purchase a couple, and they're really good, and he's much happier with chickens than he ever was with bison. Cassie, can we go to the next one? So I'm going to leave it here and you can see my information, and I look forward to hopefully being able to answer some of your questions at the end of our presentation. But just remember, we're a small school over here. We're going to give you everything you need. We do have a ratio of about 7 students to an instructor. So guess what? You're going to be able to get out there, hands-on, get to do all kinds of stuff. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Chad with Southern. Thanks so much for listening.
Thank you. Sorry, I was having a problem there unmuting it. I'm Chad. I'm a landscape architect. This is our first year of really getting our agriculture department up and running. And we have a lot of new and exciting things that we are bringing on at our college at Southern and the partnerships that we're making with the community. So Cassie, if you'd like to go to the next slide. The agriculture program was developed in response to our West Virginia state and local for training needs and skilled workers in agriculture, which is exactly what our base model is about. You know, I come from the business world, and our teachers, we have a lot of business aspects to the technical side of our program here at Southern, and we're bringing to the students real life experiences once we get through this COVID mess. And we have a hybrid program. So no matter where you are, you will be able to attend our classes and participate in online labs or in-person instruction labs. We rotate campuses, our program does. We're located on the Lincoln campus where we have a high tunnel, a functioning greenhouse, agricultural land that we grow and develop on. And we are making some great strides with people in the industry that we can connect anyone to in any specific area that they would like to explore further and to find out what they can do with their career goals as they move from academia into the real world of farming and agricultural world. Students are going to be introduced to your basic concepts of agriculture, and then we have select electives to customize their specific skill sets and career goals for those particular classes. And for one instance, we are looking at a silk farm that is not located here in West Virginia, but how farming silk and other types of crops and how they relate to specific industries. We are exposing them to some of the things that I had to deal with when I worked in Florida for over 20-some years as a land use planner, and learning the state requirements, the local municipality, the city requirements, and the zoning codes, and all of the codes that go along with how you may want to develop your farm and how it basically needs to be taken care of as we delve into the world of erosion and all of the problems that we experience here in West Virginia as well. Cassie? We have your typical standard classes here for agriculture, and we explore those. Along with that, you're going to get exposed to computer science classes, general business classes that are tailored to agricultural needs and specifics. You're going to be exposed to your standard English entry classes. We have a great orientation to technical programs in which you learn how to navigate the collegiate system. And it's a program that's been established at Southern for a very long time. And our students gain a lot of knowledge about how to just physically get through the whole entire process of being in college. And our special topics, again, in agriculture, we explore, again, I want to talk about just different wood farms that we can actually go to and visit. And is that timbered for production of lumber for housing? Is that it being turned into furniture? You know, what are the end products, and where can these students gain some experience out there in the world so you would be able to decide what it is that you want to do and what the end product is. So the next slide, please. As we go into our second semester, we spend a lot of time on horticulture, and we have a greenhouse in which we actually grow things in. We have places that we take our students so they can actually see real greenhouses working, what types of product that can be grown here and sold here. And we take them through the whole business model of starting with a logo, a design concept, and helping them form a business that can be managed and be ran successfully in whichever part of the industry that they may want to go into. We do have a summer program where they do get actual physical experience throughout the whole entire process. As we go into our third and fourth semesters, you know, we start to deal with biology, current agriculture initiatives, drone technology that has become a very big part of what we're doing at Southern. And I know myself, being in the working world for 27 years, I would have loved to have had that drone technology to have understood land use patterns and how they change for farmers and the agriculture community of which we worked with and wrote codes and zones for. To the next one, please. We also have a thing that are EDGE credits. And these are things that people can, students will be able to earn credits while they're in high school that are applied to our two-year program that we have. And as you can see, they're all listed there. And if you have any questions, we'll be glad to answer those at the end of this. And I think Shelby is going to, well, no, we have our Learn and Earn program as well. This is exciting for students who, we got a $4 million grant from the U.S. Department of Labor to create Apprenticeships in Motion, the AIM program, for high-skilled information technology, IT occupations that are increasingly high in demand across our Mountain State region. And we work with businesses that incorporate apprenticeships into their practices that have a competitive advantage due to their long-term investment as a skilled workforce. So you actually earn dollars while you work, and that's why we call it Learn to Earn. You earn credits and you earn dollars. It's a wonderful program, and it's a great initiative to get students really involved so they're not just earning credits, they're actually seeing real money come into their hands as they are going through this process. The apprentices gain success through real-world on-the-job training and related technical instruction. And we also encourage internships, and we help connect you with different people in our community so you can move forward in that. And with that, I'll pass that on to Shelby.
All right, thank you so much, Chad. That was such great information. If you have any questions or you want to know more about what we offer here at Southern, you can just call us, shoot us an email, whichever is easiest for you. Our contact information is listed there on the screen. To apply, you simply go to apply.southernwv.edu. I will go ahead and warn you though, you have to create an account, and then it sends you a link to your email, and then you follow that link to actually apply. Most students think that once you create your account, that means you've applied, but there is an extra step involved with that. Our student to professor ratio is 13 students per professor. So we have small classes, and it's just a family atmosphere here at Southern, and we hope to see you in the future. Again, you can go to apply.southernwv.edu, or you can call us or email us with any extra questions or information you may have. And with that, I'm going to send it to EKU.
Good afternoon. My name is Darlene Stalker, and I serve as the Outreach and External Affairs Coordinator here at EKU for the College of Business and Technology, which houses the Department of Agriculture. I have a few people that I want to mention that will be available here to also speak and to answer some questions. I have Madison Miller, who is from the Office of EKU Admissions and Admissions Counselor. And then I have Dr. Keneally, who is one of our professors that teaches in the Department of Ag Animal Science. And then I have two graduate assistants, my graduate assistant, Chris Baker, and then the grad assistant that works for the Department of Ag. So one thing that the Dean for the College of Business likes to say often is how that business and technology are an intersection, and that the future of the economy is going to be driven by how well that intersection is displayed. And agriculture obviously is one area where we have an opportunity to work smarter instead of harder. So if you'll go to the next screen. Why is agriculture expanding? Okay, we know that the population is increasing, and we know that that means that there's going to be a big demand for more produce. We know that we're living beyond our ecological means right now. So obviously there are great opportunities for us to work smarter. We also know that 25% or more of our workforce is actually entering into retirement. I don't know I know our students aren't baby boomers, but I know that a lot of our staff and our faculty might be baby boomers. And so within the field of agriculture, it's no different. We have individuals that are entering into retirement. So that just leaves the door open for our youth and for those that are rising up to go into this field and to research and think about new opportunities, ways to work smarter. So we also know that we need engineers. We need people that are able to think creatively and to think outside the box that can contribute to the field of agriculture. So we also know that when we're thinking about this, that we have an opportunity to be a part of something where we have a purpose and we feel like that we're part of something bigger. So there's all types of opportunities for us as we continue to go forward in the field of agriculture, okay? You can go to the next screen. As you can see in figure 1, here is a map of the United States and where all the opportunities are for employment. Some are, the ones that are heavily in red are more opportunities than others, but you can see that we're pretty much on the East Coast. We have a lot of opportunities for jobs and employment. The second figure that is shown there is one that Cassie talked about earlier that actually talks about all the employment opportunities within the field of agriculture. So you can go on to the next screen. All right, so here's what EKU has to offer, and this is where I would encourage Dr. Keneally and Bethany if you want to chime in. The Department of Agriculture, we feel like, is really positioned to address the growing demands and needs that are going on within the field of ag. We have agriculture business degree with several concentrations. And then we also have the animal and veterinarian program, which is a professional degree that we offer, pre-professional. And our students have had the highest acceptance rate in the state of Kentucky into Auburn University for the last several years, which is outstanding because our students have very hands-on practical experience. I'm not going to read all of this. We offer associate's degree and we have the bachelor's degree with various concentrations. We also have the master's, which I believe Bethany may be pursuing. And then we manage and we have as a working lab Meadowbrook Farm, which is our dairy, and I think they can elaborate a little bit more and talk about what actually goes on out at the farm. But we are one of 4 institutions within the United States that has a robotic milker, and that's been a great opportunity for us to again address how technology is working within the field of agriculture. Dr. Keneally, do you have anything to add, or Bethany?
Sure, yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Keneally. I am the newest member at the Department of Agriculture. I do the animal and veterinary sciences here, and I just want to emphasize what Darlene has talked about, how our farm, Meadowbrook Farm, is very much a working classroom, a working lab. So it is 720 acres, and we have everything there from beef and dairy cattle, swine and sheep, and a whole variety of crops. And it's a very busy place. Our students are out there all the time, whether they are working or preparing for our dairy challenge activity that students get to do, or out there for class. Personally, with my class, my introductory animal science class, we're out there every week, if not more, doing all kinds of things with the animals. Just this week, or this last week, we were vaccinating steers, giving vaccines, and we'll be out there again doing booster vaccines soon. So students get a lot of hands-on opportunities. Additionally, on campus, we have several greenhouses just outside our agricultural building. I was actually just out there taking a video of students working, and even among COVID right now, we are promoting hands-on learning. Our students are still in the building, still at the farm, still doing this face-to-face interaction. We're out there doing soil testing just a few minutes ago, and we're just really proud of that. We're proud of being able to still have our students here working with us. And I'd like to hand it over to Bethany for a few minutes. She got to experience the whole undergraduate program here as an animal science major. So she'd be able to give you a little more of a personal field.
Hi everyone, I'm Bethany. I'm from Eastern Kentucky University. I'm getting my master's there in Ag Operations Management. And yes, I did go through the program. It was a wonderful experience. I learned so much, especially on the farm, getting to work hands-on with the animals. And even though my background's not really in crops, I also got to experience learning how to plant crops and using the tractor and different implements while I was out on the farm. So some of the things that we do out there, we grow hay crops, so we usually utilize Timothy hay. We grow alfalfa, we do grass type hay and all that. We also grow winter wheat and red clover so we can fertilize the ground and make it more manageable for next year. In addition to that, we also grow soybeans and corn, and all of the crops that we grow on the farm go to feed the animals in each animal unit. So of course, corn is probably going to be our biggest crop, and soybean will be the next biggest because we use those in the pig and dairy barns most often. And then like Dr. Keneally said, the greenhouses in our red barn and garden where we grow on-campus vegetables, and we also grow flowers and tropical plants. It's just a really great experience to go out there and see all the students working even amongst COVID. And personally myself, Eastern has become like my second family. I've made lifelong friends here that I'll never forget.
Thank you, Bethany. And I just want to add, we are really increasing our virtual presence. So if you're interested in finding out more what we're doing, please go to our Facebook page and like that. It's the EKU Department of Agriculture, constantly posting videos and pictures of what our students are doing every day. So feel free to check that out. And Blaine, I'll hand it back over to you.
Thank you both for participating. Probably the last thing that I would want to mention before I hand it over to Madison is the Agriculture Engineering Technology degree. It's newly implemented in the fall of 2019. It's one of the programs that we are working and partnering with within the entire College of Business and Tech, within the applied science, and then also on the business side. So we're really excited about that opportunity because, again, it goes back into the importance of working smarter and utilizing technology to our benefit in the future. Madison?
Hello. First and foremost, I want to thank you, Darlene, for that presentation of the agriculture program here at EKU. That was awesome. And also, Bethany, for your experience. I know that helps other students being able to hear from an actual student at EKU. My name is Madison Miller. I'm an admissions counselor. Like I said before, thank you, Darlene. One thing that I want to point out about EKU is how affordable it is. I know that there has been some community colleges on here. EKU is $10,300 for out-of-state tuition, which is awesome. Our application is free right now. You can apply at apply.eku.edu. We are also test optional. We are 15-to-1 on the student to faculty ratio, which is awesome when it comes to a university. That is unheard of. We have $39 million of scholarships that we have given out in the past year, and we just finalized some of those numbers for this year, and it is amazing. And even for those test optional students. So once again, I'm Madison Miller. You can apply at apply.eku.edu. And I will give it back to you, Cassie.
Thanks, Madison. And thank you everyone for joining us today. You're going to note that all of our email address for all of the presenters are on the screen. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us at any time. And at this time, I go ahead and ask all of our presenters to go ahead and come back onto camera. You don't have to unmute yourselves yet, but we'll just go through a little bit of questioning. There's no questions in our Q&A, so I'll just start off with a fun one. So tell me a little bit about your favorite thing about your ag program or about your campus. So I'll start with ours. One of the cool things that I've noticed about our ag program is our SAGE students are super active and doing all kinds of different things for our community as well. Recently they started selling pumpkin bouquets where they're farm grown pumpkins with flowers that are also farm grown. And they've been selling those as decorations for the fall. Corey also mentioned the pizza oven that we're going to have coming out. We also do sell maple syrup and different things on the campus. And we also are very active on social, so check us out on Twitter as well as Facebook under Potomac State College Sage. And I'll hand it off to someone else.
I'll go, Cassie. One of the fun things that happened here at Blue Ridge over the summer is we had a huge amount of cucumbers we were able to grow. It was crazy this year how the cucumbers grew in the greenhouse. And so when I was giving all of those over to culinary, they're like, Tiff, I don't know what we're going to do with all these cucumbers, especially with very few people on campus. Well, we're very fortunate here at Blue Ridge that part of our culinary department, we actually have a food truck. And so one of the chefs decided that he was going to start doing some really wild things in making pickles. He made garlic pickles, and there were some really strange things. There was a sriracha pickle and things like that. So they made all of these really flavorful pickles, and they started selling them as part of the food truck. And I have to tell you that those monstrous cucumbers that we were able to raise in the greenhouse became all kinds of delicious pickles that went on out into the food truck that is actually goes out to many of the businesses and local people here in the county. So it was kind of cool to know that the cucumbers that our students raised were actually processed and being sold to the local people.
Well, we're at Southern, we're starting our program, and we're really excited with all of the headway that we have made. And I would say that one of the most exciting things that we do have going on is our relationships with our local community and farmers markets, and the business aspect that we're building and growing. And we are helping these non-for-profits. We're also helping the people in the recovery communities get enrolled into our programs. And we're expanding more and more on helping educate our community on how to grow for themselves and get them really excited about the world of agriculture and all of the possibilities that go along with it.
I would agree with him. I think our partnerships within the community at Southern is just phenomenal. And even the partnerships that professors have with students. It's such a family atmosphere here at Southern. You don't feel like you're coming to school. Like you feel like you're just coming to your second home, and your friends are there, your family is there, and it's just an extension of who we are. And it's just, I mean, I can go on and on about how just what a family atmosphere we are here at Southern. I love working here, and I love seeing the students thrive. And I just think that just pours out into the community, and that's why we have such good relationships with our community partners.
Does anybody else want to jump in and share one of their favorite things about their program or something that they weren't able to share during their presentation? We have a few minutes left.
Probably one thing that I totally forgot, I was looking at my notes and realized I didn't mention, but because we do have the dairy farm, we actually partnership with Borden's, which is milk and ice cream and cheese and stuff here in our local area, as well as we partner with Kroger's for the meat that we actually have in the stores here. So that's pretty interesting.
I think we got time for one more if anyone else wants to jump in.
I'll jump in about something unique with our program. So the other animal scientist here, Dr. Sexton, she puts on a dairy show every year. And so we breed our dairy cows at Meadowbrook Farm. And every year students have the opportunity to sort of adopt a dairy cow or dairy calf, excuse me. And they get to handle her and are used to being touched and halter break her. And so the student goes out there at their own time every day, handles and sort of trains the dairy cow. And then after several weeks, the students actually participate in a dairy show right out on the farm. And we bring in a judge, and the students get dressed up, they bathe their cows, get them looking their best, and then they participate in several different classes and the show, and then there's even little prizes awarded. So it's a wonderful experience for our students, especially those that maybe haven't had a lot of large animal handling experience. It's a really great place to start.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We do only have just a couple minutes here, so I'm going to hand it back over to our facilitator for some housekeeping items. And thank you for learning more about ag, and we hope to speak with you in the future.
Thank you all so much for your time. And I have to say, I sure learned a lot, that's for sure. Thank you all so much for joining us. Remember, this is one of many sessions that's being hosted between now and October 29th. So be sure to sign up for additional sessions at wvacrao.org/student access. In about a week, you will be able to find this session's recording as well as other session recordings at wvacrao.org/student access. Thank you so much for joining us and have a wonderful day.